Sup guys, so Kazuya impressions video, right? Cool. Let's get right into it, not gonna waste your times. So, right off the bat, good things about this character. When it comes to his attributes, this character is heavy. Between Piranha Plant and Cinnabar's weight, he is very hard to kill. And as a result, a lot of like strings and combos aren't really that great for him. For example, like Mimmin down to up smash is almost definitely unsafe on him until like 30 to 40%, which is a big deal. Because that's always like an issue with some characters in Ultimate, is not having the best moves at super low percents. So, not only is he harder to kill, he's especially annoying for certain characters at lower percents, or he has to like fish for certain moves, which makes fighting those characters more predictable. So, big deal. He's also a medium-sized character. Look at his size relative to Palutena. About the same size, which means he's like, harder to combo. He's also harder to space things on in general, harder to pressure. Just being a medium-sized character with heavyweight weight is really, really, really useful. He's gonna be a lot harder to like deal with once you hit him, and a lot harder to pressure than people might give him credit for. Also, I'm not sure how useful this is gonna be, but I expect it to be at least moderately useful. He has double jump cancels to an extent. He can like cancel the initial momentum of his double jump with attacks, and depending on the timing, he can get a certain distance on his double jump, so you're not always going for the max distance double jumps. And that's pretty useful, honestly. I can see a lot of situations where like, you're juggling people with like this, so you don't like overextend and jump past someone. We'll try to double jump juggle them. And it also means you can kind of cancel like your jump a little bit early and start getting the fall earlier than other characters, which is really useful for like getting these extended like jumps without once again overextending, for mixing up your recovery, just really everything. Now for weaknesses though, he is slow in the air for sure, just abysmally slow in the air, especially if he has the momentum. So say he's like trying to like drift after getting hit, his airspeed is atrocious, and even like max airspeed is atrocious. Huge deal actually. He's also not particularly fast in the ground either, to be honest. Like he has this stuff, but he's really kind of average-ish speed, I'd say, maybe slightly below average. That hurts. And he has, I think he has a 7-frame jump spot. I know it's very slow. And like, you can feel it when you play this character. It feels very weighty. So, that hurts a lot for really anything out of shield, even for movement, for pressure. Really, almost every facet of this game is going to hurt him because this is a very aerial-based game, right? So, all those like mobility issues are problems in my opinion. And the rest of his kit does a lot to compensate for it. So it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Other thing worth mentioning is I'm not sure how applicable his like wave dash, movement cancel stuff is going to be. I don't know what they're calling right now. But this stuff, while it looks really cool and the invincibility on paper seems really good, in practice, because it's only full body for small windows of time, it's actually pretty easy to hit him after like the initial part of it with attacks, because like his legs are vulnerable. And this means a lot of ground spacing tools, projectiles, even aerials that hit lower to the ground are all gonna be fine to hit him with. And you might say, oh, but you can do like the cancel, right? You can do like this, do this, and then unless I'm doing this wrong, cancel like that. So you have as minimal like downtime without full body invincibility as possible. But the problem is you're still vulnerable during these cancels, unless I'm not doing it perfectly. So if you do a cancel and this hitbox on you and you face through and then you try to like cancel, you're gonna be hit right here. So like, lingering hitboxes are gonna handle this fine. So I think this is gonna be more of a he's already close to you type of tool. He's wanting to combo you or pressure you than anything else. Also worth mentioning is that a lot of this stuff is going to be telegraphed because of this too, right? Like if you see a Kazuya doing this, you're going to be like, oh, you're trying to like dash at me and do some attacks out of it. Maybe the electric wind god fist. So that sort of linearity is going to be a problem, I think, for players who are experiencing the matchup. But this is going to be useless for, of course, full body invincibility, low profile, and upper body invincibility for most of it. And just the moves he gets out of it are all really, really useful. It's just not going to be like something you spam to win. Now, when it comes to the CQC game, he has just everything you want a character, quite frankly. Up close, his on-block mix-ups, his on-hit mix-ups, like, he has so much stuff he can do, like, and then, like, mix you up with something like this, maybe, do like this, go for like this, and I don't know the combos or anything yet, but I know for a fact he's gonna have pretty much infinite mix-ups on hit and on block once he gets going, so he's a monster up close there. Combine that with his damage output and his kill power, just his I made you have to play defense state is nutty. And I'm not sure how well you can DI a lot of his stuff, especially at low percents. I think a lot of his stuff is just going to work. So that's really scary considering the damage output and kill power. The invincibility on a lot of his hitboxes is insane as well. Like, I'd say most of his attacks have invincibility somewhere, which gives him like that Bowser effect where it's, you can't actually challenge him when he's swinging that well. Remember, there's just things like down to full body invincibility, and just the fear factor, the fact that because a lot of attacks are powerful, you're probably gonna lose if you try trading with him with like lower hitting, weaker attacks, right? Say you're Sheik trying to like, I don't know, forward tilt him, you'll just forward tilt through your attack because of trample. That's pretty big. So what else is there? He also has, of course, a lot of shield damage, so he can't even block his stuff much either, which means he knows he can swing when he's near you. And he knows, like, when you're near him, you have to run away. So when you're just in this range, it's going to be hard to be unpredictable, but also safe and escaping pressure versus him. It really is going to be. Also, I want to give a shout out to this thing right here, down tilt animation cancel. Because I think baiting people into reacting to this animation and shielding is going to be a really useful strategy. I'm not exactly sure what for yet, but I have a feeling that's going to have some good use to it. Along with just being a really good move to just knock back angle, to be honest. And honestly, I was looking at his moveset, and every one of his moves just about is a standout move to me in some sort of way. So I'm not even going to talk about the individual moves. Legit, the only ones that seem kind of not great to me are like that. And that's about it. I just mentioned that a lot of his knockback angles are really nice too. The grab knockback angle, for example, look how low that is. Characters with bad recoveries just get murdered by that almost 30% damage move that has really big range, by the way. And a grab is general, like it's a big grab, actually. I think it's about like pre-patch Palutena size, and that's slightly bigger from what I read. Yeah, pre-patch Palutena size grabs, guys. Oh, whoo. Up, yeah, show is nice. Kind of make sure he has something to do. Out of show, he's not getting pressure for free. But the fact that it's a powerful move, lots of damage, good kill power. Wonder if it's invincible at all. Doesn't seem to be. Still very nice, especially because he can act out of that B. So he has a lot of things he can do out of this, and he's not just a sitting duck. Meaning it's really hard to hit his shield, honestly, if you don't have like really fast frame traps and stuff. Which I expect Kazuya players are going to parry a lot of things because of how deadly he is up close. And yeah, all these things combined, and the Bowser Stuff Guy mechanic means a lot of weak moves and multi moves, especially multi jabs in particular, just aren't good for him, especially at lower percents. So once again, kind of playing into the whole heavy thing as well, where there's a lot of things you can't swing at him with, especially at these lower percents. It really means that up close, you're just gonna lose versus him. And finally, all the smashes having the armor, especially forward smash, is nice. Forward smash is like 12% armor when we factor in 1v1 mode like scaling. And I think up and down smash have about like 7.2% each, so whew, you don't want to deal with this. And this move is far-reaching, right, and powerful, and kind of hard to punish on block at max range. So, that is moving on. Oh, and also this down smash spikes. Oh, there's Nair actually. I will say though, for weaknesses up close, obviously range is lacking. That's no surprise there. Even with like the invincible hitboxes he has on his legs, he's still gonna get outranged by a lot of things. And I think it's gonna be more so useful to like with punish through moves or just challenge like straight up CQC characters like Mario, DK. His frame data also doesn't seem particularly good, especially for an FGC character. A lot of his attacks have a bit of startup, I'd say, or good amount of end lag. So he doesn't really have any standout moves. Actually, I shouldn't say he doesn't have any standout moves. But as a whole, his kit feels very committal. Like anytime you press a button, you can be punished for that button, I'd say. And you can be challenged for that button. Combine that with your lacking range, it means he might just get mashed on by characters with good range overall. And also his auto turnaround mechanic isn't nearly as strong as the other FGC characters because of these frame rate issues, right? Like you do like, say I want to do say a back air. Oh no, like that. Let's say I like someone rolls behind me as they do like a down tilt. I'm gonna be stuck. Not being able to see it there to turn around. I can't turn around for a bit on that. So that hurts a lot. And I'm also wondering how safe some of the stuff is on block up close as a result. And also, because this character's inputs can be a little bit awkward to do, and he has like a high combo ceiling, but I'm not sure how much he can react to combos due to what seems like very minimal hit lag on moves. This character might be an inconsistent character to play, and hard to play reactionarily, which I feel like in Smash, being able to play based on reactions is really strong, and generally just the best way to play the game if you can. So the fact that he's committing to a lot of his moves, a lot of inputs, and even potentially a lot of combos, could make him a very inconsistent character to play, which is prone to just screwing up and kind of feeling stupid with, honestly. And that's the worst feeling when you just feel stupid, like you drop something and you're like, ugh. Or you see something coming and you just can't get the input out right, and you go, ugh. Also, his aerials, except for up air, are pretty subpar overall. I'm not saying they're useless at all. Nair is a spike, down air has uses for sure. But the only one that stands out to me is up air for juggling, I'd say. Now, for his advantage state, and I'm not talking about the combo state, I'm talking about you hit someone, you knock them away. What do you do when they're trying to get back to the neutral type of state? And honestly, it seems kind of lacking there. I would say laser is pretty good for edge guarding. You can... The SARP is pretty slow, and this is why I don't think it's a good neutral tool. But the actual angle on the laser is pretty unreactable, so you can definitely snipe people off stage with a few different angles. It's also kind of limited angles, I'd say, in the laser. And you can only angle it up if you're on the ground. So, I think once people learn his angles, they'll be able to maybe just slip between the angles pretty easily. But I'm not entirely sure. I will say that's going to be a pretty good edge guarding tool. And up air is a pretty good juggle tool. Otherwise, it doesn't seem weird overall. Sure, he has like, you know, double jump cancels for stuff. And like he has a spiking there that's pretty fast. But it just seems like not a great juggle, so you can't really go deep for edge guarding, I'd say, because it was lacking air speed. And the fact that his recovery tools don't really give him much horizontal distance. I mean, I guess you have side B, so it's not the worst thing. Oh, I got to mention, by the way, actually, I didn't talk about the specials that comes out good he has up close. He has a command grab. Meaning he can pressure people on the platforms and stuff very easily. Just say has a command grab like Bowser side B and leave it at that. Because I think everyone knows how good of an option that is. Yes, back to his advantage state. And also for his ledge trapping, I don't think his ledge trapping is that strong. Sure, he has powerful moves, so you're up close to him at the ledge. He can kill you, but I think he's a very inconsistent read-based ledge trapper, which is fine, it's not unusable or anything. It's just backing into the consistency issues, right? You might be a character that sometimes blows someone up, and other times you just guess wrong in the ledge trap like 4 times in a row, and your advantage state feels non-existent, and then you might struggle to kill because a lot of his kill moves seem hard to hit people with, to be honest, outside of combos at low limit percents. Which means you might rely on getting those like kill combos going, or kill might just live for too long. Now for his disadvantage state seems pretty decent. Because he can up B and act out of it, he has extremely versatile recovery. Combine that with his like double jump cancels, and you just have a lot of stuff you can work with. He's a heavy, of course. It's a big deal from before. Up B having hitbox means it's hard to edge guard him as well from above, or if you just messed it up even slightly. And the fact that laser stalls in the air is insane. People go off stage to edge guard you, they do it too early because you laser stall. Suddenly they can't edge guard you anymore. You can only do laser once in the air, by the way, but it's still really, really good. And you might punish people with lasers while they like, mess up. So I think that's overall just extremely good tool to have, and honestly, without laser, this character's recovery would be kind of bad. But the mix-up of laser alone gives him so much. And he can go really high with his recovery too. So like, if he's down here, he's fine. Actually, you're not there. Close enough. You get the point. It does think he can't act out his up B immediately. It's a bit of lag. But you can't have something being perfect. Now, for weaknesses off stage though, he's very easy to 2-frame, I've noticed. Because you want to generally do up B and then double jump, it's pretty easy to 2-frame his double jump, I've noticed. And even his up B itself is a pretty bad ledge magnet, honestly. Or at least I haven't got to like see the limits of it and confirm it's good, but for my testing, it just seems pretty exploitable. So, yeah. And he's really easy to edgeguard like deep. If the opponent knows what they're doing, it makes a couple good reads, or it's just playing certain characters. Because he is very slow. If he's sent off stage, like here especially, where he basically has like one recovery path he can take, he gets very easy to edgeguard, and that happens surprisingly often due to his lacking airspeed. So I'm not sure how he gets around that. But hold center stage a lot, abuse his weight, and this shouldn't be too much of an issue for experienced Kazuya's, I'd say. And like if you're gonna be getting sent off stage in those situations at like 130 plus, that's a fair percent to be dying at anyway. And yeah, so like overall, all these things considered, he's really just an on-hit monster, I'd say. That's like what the summary is. His advantage and disadvantage are both, I mean, a disadvantage isn't that bad, but it's not amazing, I'd say. It's just good. Advantage 6 at subpar, so it's all about the neutral and getting your low percent combos and basically making the character look broken. Because this character's either gonna look really, really broken, or he might be honestly underwhelming. I know it's like kind of lame to say, oh, this character could be really good or kind of bad. I'm leaning on the train of this character being really good, but not quite as broken as everyone thought when they first saw the trailers. Everyone was like, oh my god, he's broken, look at these combos and invincibility and hitbox, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I think he's just gonna be a solidly like top 15 to 25-ish character. I think if all of his broken stuff wasn't so focused on being up close to people and like was a bit more spread out, that helped him a lot. And I think if there wasn't so many good zoners and sorties, because I think like a lot of top and high tiers comprise of that. And that's going to be the kind of matchup that might be a problem for him. So, yeah. With that said, guys, hope you like the just breakdown, the impressions. I'll probably follow up with something else in a week or two and people really develop this character. And until then, guys, peace out.